This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There we are. We're ready to go. Scotty is locked and loaded. How you doing, Scotty? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. And, I love that rant you had on Tua. It made me think about, when Peyton Manning joined the Colts, he did inherit Marvin Harrison, first-round pick. What did the Colts do? They drafted Edgerrin James in the first round. They drafted Dallas Clark in the first round. They drafted Reggie Wayne in the first round. Even guys like Anthony Gonzalez and Donald Brown, who didn't work out, they were first-round picks. And nobody has ever said, well, yeah, of course Manning was great because they constantly gave him first-round skill talent. Patrick Mahomes is wonderful. I think he's the MVP runaway favorite right now. But nope, Andy Reid isn't one of the 3 or 4 best play designers of all time. It's stupid. The way they treat Tua is so dumb because it's just not. If it was just simple just to put out 2 great receivers, I can think of plenty of teams that have receiver talent and don't have the quarterback. We always say in the NFL, if you don't have the quarterback, you don't have anything. Right? Tua is getting disrespected, and I'm glad you're calling people out on it because
I've been calling him out for a while, bro. For a while.
And also, look,
I didn't flinch for 2 years while everything was going on. I said, dude, this guy's going to be a star. It's just the wrong people are around it. I'm old, bro. I'm old. I saw Steve Young. I saw him go from the LA Express to the Bucks and suck. He looked completely useless out there. Yep. But you knew he was a good player if you followed the damn game. And then Bill Walsh said, no. Come on over here. Come on over here.
But I always say that's the greatest and the worst thing about football debates is that you can credit anybody you want. You
right.
want to, again, Niners. Was it Rice? Was it Montana? Was it Walsh? Was it the offensive line was very good? Roger Craig, 1,000-yard receiver out as running back. I think he's a Hall of Fame guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, I come here to give fantasy advice, and I'm going to give some in a second. But I think it's because of our relationship and all the talking we do that I made a trade for Tua. I had a team that was in trouble, and I've mentioned it before. I know nobody probably cares about my team, but I traded for Tua and Tyreek Hill in September, in part because of talking to you and thinking, okay, I got to do something here. Herbert's not working for me. Mike Evans is off to a slow start. I got to win. I'm behind the 8 ball. And now I'm inside the playoffs, and I have a very dangerous team. Obviously, they can't help me this week. That's fine. I have bench. That's why you have a bench. That's why you have a waiver wire. But I'm sitting pretty right now because I think Tyreek Hill might be the offensive player of the year. I mean, he's going to threaten some records, and I have one of the best hookups you can have in fantasy. Right? You want to have, Mahomes to Kelsey. You want to have Burrow to Chase. Well, you know what? You want to have Tua to either one of these guys. In fact, if I could get Jalen Waddle, I'd run with the 3 amigos. I mean, because they have such a concentrated tree. It's only going to be those 2 guys usually when they throw it. So I'm preaching at the choir. Your listeners don't need to hear that Tua is great, but I'm just glad that you're fighting against the tide because there's some bad narratives out there.
Oh, no. Listen, dude, you try to fight against the narrative a year ago or 2 years ago when I'm telling everybody everything around him is wrong. He's fine. And I'm being called all kinds of, idiot. What's wrong with you? That guy can't play. You don't know what you're talking about. All that kind of stuff. And so this for me. I'm enjoying this more than anybody because obviously my crazy ass was right from the get go. That
by the way,
special.
Before the season, we all talked NFC West. I'm sorry, AFC West. That's the hot division. The best division in football by far is the AFC East.
Yeah, and by the way, NFC East. Who the hell even expected them to make all the noise?
It's fun. The Cowboys are fun. The Eagles are tremendous. Washington is competitive. Brian Dable has turned the Giants into a legitimate team. They're not as good as their record, but yeah, who thought these 2 Eastern divisions? I mean, it's really in play that Buffalo might be going on the road in the playoffs. Miami could win this division, and I agree with you. They got to play Detroit. The worst time to play Detroit is on Thanksgiving.
Yes,
that's when you don't want to play them. On a short week, Buffalo's getting a little bit of an edge that they don't have. I think they're traveling now so they can get settled in a little bit. I think that actually helps them a little bit for the Thursday game. But that's the one time the Lions, that's their Super Bowl. We know they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, but also Buffalo loses home field advantage in this Cleveland game.
Yes, that's right.
And that to me also helps Cleveland out a little bit. Not that I think Cleveland or Detroit are better than Buffalo. Hell no, dude. You can put both those teams together and you're still not going to be better than Buffalo. But the way the wacky NFL is, I just wouldn't put it past them that they drop one of those games considering the way the Bills are playing right now.
Right. And this is why it's kind of like when people like bet like teasers, like, oh, I just need these three teams to win money line. They're all 9-point favorites, and then they act surprised when one of them loses. It's like if I told you, Big O, let's bet on Steph Curry making a free throw. We'd all bet on him making a free throw. But if you added another player and another player and another player, eventually one of the 85% free throw shooters miss. Maybe Buffalo's 80% or 85% to beat Cleveland or Detroit, but you add both of them together, and there's probably a 40% chance they lose one of these games because you just can't assume that Curry makes every free throw. He's going to miss once in a while. Okay. And as you add liability, that's why the teaser bet is a bad bet, because you add liability, because you need everything to go right. Eventually one rims out on you.
Amen. Amen. All right. You got some fantasy football questions? Send them in right now on the YouTube chat board, on our Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. And, of course, on Twitter at Big O Show. First, let's go flex. Melvin Gordon or Rondale Moore?
Going to go Rondale Moore. May not be Hopkins on Monday. We're not sure who the quarterback is, although you could argue they were better off with McCoy last week. Now, McCoy's dinged up too, so I can't guarantee you who's going to be their quarterback, but I just don't want to roll with that Broncos offense. They have three backs. When you have three backs in fantasy, you really can't play any of them, so let's play Rondale Moore.
All right, Cooper or Sutton?
Cooper's been pretty reliable. I know the Buffalo defense is good, although they have some injuries on the back end. I need a prove-it game from Sutton. And again, that Denver, Denver, 8 of the 9 Denver games have gone under this year. They have an offense that can't score, and they have a defense that doesn't allow people to score. I think that game is going to be Derek Carr and Russell Wilson trying not to screw it up. So many teams hide their quarterbacks right now. I think that's how the Broncos have to play. I can't play Cortland Sutton. Give me Amari Cooper.
Okay. Chase Barrett is asking, who should I flex this week? Need one. Slayton, Duvernay, or Freiermuth, or DPJ?
A lot of options. I'm going to lean Slayton. The unfortunate thing with DPJ is just never scores touchdowns. He's getting like 60, 70 yards a week, but he doesn't have a lot of touchdown equity. I'm glad you added or have Freiermuth, because with Chase Claypool gone, I think Freiermuth will inherit a lot of those targets. He didn't have a huge game last week, but the Saints are really good against the tight end. Slayton's my play this week, but I think Pat Freiermuth is going to be on a lot of winning fantasy rosters maybe in December.
All right. Half-point PPR pick. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Garrett Wilson, or Adam Thielen?
Going to go Wilson. Went for $1.15 in the first matchup. And the Patriots have to pick their poison. They also got singed by Tyler Conklin in that game. He had 2 touchdowns. The Patriots have not marked tight ends well. Now, you would think Belichick, he should identify the best thing on the other team and eliminate them. Well, he didn't stop Garrett Wilson the last time they played. I know Zach Wilson is really hard to trust, but Garrett Wilson's a freak, man. Ohio State, I don't know how they keep doing it with those two guys. And Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like a stud. And Jameson Williams was actually there, and he left because that's how good Garrett Wilson was at Ohio State. Jameson Williams, like, I'm never going to get on the field. I got to go to Alabama where there's less competition. So let's keep rolling with Garrett Wilson.
Let's throw some of the names out there that might be on the periphery. What do we do with a guy like Nico Collins?
Like him. 10 targets last week. They seem to be souring on Brandon Cooks. I think Mills has played a little bit better of late. So, look, the opportunity will be there. Collins is a deep threat, so you have to live with the fact that he may get 7 or 8 targets, only 2 or 3 completions, but one of them can make your day. Nico Collins is one of my favorite pivots. It's a horrible week for receivers on bye, right? Obviously, the Miami guys aren't playing. We just lost Cooper Kupp to injury. So that's why people are asking about Peoples-Jones, who's, again, he'll get 70 yards. He won't score a touchdown. That's why people are asking about Nico Collins. Nico Collins is one of my favorite pivots for Week 11.
Trent Sherfield, has he become a flex in the Miami offense?
Yeah, I'm still not there yet. Only because the 2 overlords at receiver, and then they have 2 running backs who touch the ball too. Wilson's fit in seamlessly. Mostert's a good player. Again, you maybe if you're really, really screwed with injuries, you could play him, but I would prefer to leave it to they have a core 4 right now. That's where my focus is.
If you want to send in your fantasy questions, send them in right now on the YouTube chat board. You can send them in also on our Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. That's Welt and Rayom, 855-912-1056. Frankie is asking, should I start Marquez Scantling flex since Hardman was placed on IR?
Yeah, make sure MVS is healthy. That receiver room has plenty of injuries, but I'd be okay with that. I'd also be okay with Tony if he's available. I know he's probably gone in most leagues. And their backfield is actually interesting now, too, because they've really soured on CEH. So Pacheco gets to run against the worst run defense in the league, and McKinnon has caught 6 passes the last 2 weeks. We always talk about backfields. When you can eliminate one player from a backfield and go from 3 to 2, they become playable. So I like you playing Pacheco this week if you can. I like you playing McKinnon. MVS, if healthy, Tony, I think they're good plays too. And I think we'll see a lot of points in the Sunday night game.
Is there an order with Pacheco and McKinnon and how you like them, one over the other?
Yeah, Pacheco, I'll give it to him first. The thing is, they never throw the ball to him. He only has 13 receiving yards. So if you were in full point PPR, maybe you'd go McKinnon. But Pacheco he's going to get more touches. I think he has a little bit more touchdown equity, so he'd be the first guy I play. And again, this Chargers run defense is a turnstile. They just wave you through. So I don't know that Pacheco's going to be maybe that great for the rest of the season, but I think he's in a smash spot against a defense that can't stop what he can do.
All right. If Ricard White becomes the lead back, what back would you trade to upgrade at the wide receiver position? I have Saquon, Etienne, Ken Walker, and White. Receivers are Diggs, Hollywood, Myers. What would you do? Which running back?
Well, this is what you do. You put everybody on the market. You say, look, I have an excess of running backs. I need whatever you need, quarterback, receiver, tight end, and let the market play out. Let's see who somebody else will overpay. I will not say, well, you have to trade this guy or that guy. Be careful with White, though. They haven't totally given up on Leonard Fournette. Fournette did run better in the Munich game. Maybe Tampa Bay needs to move to Munich. I don't know. Maybe Tom Brady found a supermodel. I don't know what happened because I thought Seattle was going to win that game and Tampa Bay showed up for the first time in 2 months. But when you have depth like that, put everybody, even if you have in your mind, I'm never trading Barkley. It doesn't matter. Let the other guy think that you'll trade any of those guys, and you might get a Herschel Walker deal. You might get some ridiculous package. Let somebody else. And people are desperate. There's somebody in your league right now who's not going to make the playoffs unless they win out. Maybe they don't have Waddle this week or something like that. They're going to do dumb things. So take advantage of that. Put everybody on the market. See who they'll overpay for. That's how I play those situations.
Okay. Hello, Big O and Scott. Who should I flex this weekend? I only need one running back. Foreman from Carolina or the Chargers, Palmer or Williams?
Foreman. I'm going to keep rolling with Foreman. I know they're huge underdogs, but they don't want Baker Mayfield throwing 35, 30 times. Unfortunately, you're probably going to sink DJ Moore again, which he's done all season. But Foreman, Carolina looked terrible against the Bengals. I get it. But they've been a competitive team for a month, and Foreman's been fantastic, and they don't have any problem giving him 25 or 30 touches. So they may get blown out in this game. I still think Foreman's going to be around 100 yards, maybe a 35% chance at a touchdown. I think he's an excellent fantasy play for the rest of the season.
All right, Brandon wants to know Ravens defense or Jets defense this week.
Point spread's always your friend here. The Ravens are like 12 or 13-point favorites. The Jets, although very good defense, and Mac Jones has not played well, they're actually underdogs. I'm always going to follow the point spread because you play with leverage. You want your defense to be ahead in the fourth quarter. The pass rushers pin their ears back. The offense has to be desperate, take chances. That's where you get those garbage points. So when you're ever in doubt on a defensive question, always follow the point spread. And when the discrepancy is this large, I have to play the Ravens.
Sebastian is asking, I just lost Coop. Do you think it's a good idea to pick up the other receiver in LA with the crazy name? I'm not sure how you spell it.
Skoranek, it sounds like. Yeah, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to catch 5 passes for 48 yards and no touchdown. He's going to be like the poor man's Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, maybe it speaks to how deep your league is. Maybe you have to go there. I don't trust Stafford. I don't think he's healthy. I don't like this offensive line. I think Sean Payton. I think Sean McVay is going to be somewhere else next year, probably consulting or in a broadcast booth because they're drawing dead. Look, they won the championship. The flag flies forever, but they have such a bad situation with their draft picks and everything. I want no part of the Rams offense. I don't want to play Robinson. I don't want to play Higbee. They have too many running backs. None of them are going anywhere. The line play has been terrible. You want to pick up Skoranek. You're in a deep league. I have to play him in one league just because I'm kind of screwed, but I'm expecting about 50 yards.
All right. Let me see. Can we trust Jefferson since Coop is out?
Again, I don't trust any of the Rams guys. Robinson, okay. Jefferson, Skoranek, Higbee, Flipper Anderson. Isaac Bruce. I would play Flipper. He'd probably go for 336.
All right.
And as you said, that Rams team was so much fun. And you mentioned Kurt Warner, by the way, having that Rams royalty. Also, when he ended up in Arizona, here's Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden. There's a Hall of Famer and a borderline Hall of Famer. That was pretty fun, too.
All right. Mr. Cobb is asking Pierce or Ramondre Stevenson.
Well, man, I'd play both of them if I could, but I'm gonna lean Pierce only because I respect that Jets defense, and I think Pierce is maybe a safer bet for 20 carries. But there's no wrong answer here. They're both.
I want to know who's his flex.
They're both in my top 12. I think this question is more of a show off of look how good my running back room is. He's probably got Barkley at the top of his depth chart or McCaffrey or somebody like
who's
that.
his? Okay, so who's the other running back and who's your flex? Like, are you sure you got like somebody better than those two guys?
Yeah,
like
my wallet's too big for my wallet doesn't fit my hundreds. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If there's a line from Broadcast News, what do you do when your life is better than your dreams? And they say, keep it to yourself.
Right.
That's how I feel. When your running back room is that good, keep it to yourself.
All right. Walker is on a buy for me. Is Elijah Mitchell a decent fill-in? Also, Olave or Cole Kmet for a flex?
I got to go Kmet for the touchdown equity. I know some people might say, well, 5 touchdowns on 11 catches, that's not sustainable. But everybody's so petrified of Fields that they set up easy scores for Kmet. I'm really high on him. Not that Olave's a bad player, but I think Kmet's chances at a touchdown are a lot higher. Mitchell was more of the primary back last week. I don't think that's generally how they're going to play it, but he'll probably get 10 carries. They're going to use 2 backs there. So I'm thinking maybe 13 touches for Mitchell, somewhere between 60 and 80 yards, give him like a 25% chance at a touchdown. That's not bad.
All right. Tell them what is going on Yahoo this week so you can get the folks ready for this weekend.
Sure. Gave out sleepers on Thursday, not just guys for this week, but guys to pick up for the future. A couple of defenses are on bye this week that have great matchups. Miami, pick up the Miami defense. They have, Houston, I think it is next week.
Yeah.
You're going to want a piece of that. Give out the picks. Today, 5 picks we give out every week. We're like 63% against the spread. And then on Sunday, Fantasy Football Live, I'll be part of the show on video. And, of course, at Yahoo Fantasy, I'll be answering your start-sit questions all the way up to kickoff. A lot of injury situations to figure out. We're starting some really ugly receivers. So let's have a conversation on Sunday, and then we'll be back here next week digesting turkey sandwiches and try to get you a win in Week 12.
Amen. All right, Scotty, as always, I appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up on Black Friday next week.
Have a great holiday and good luck this week, guys.
You got it. There you go. The great Scott Pianowski. Follow him on Twitter, Scott_Pianowski.
This is the Big O Show.